Today on the KeithAndrewNetWork, we have Mimi Walsh. That's right, Mimi Walsh will be on the KeithAndrewNetWork, and not just her. We also have Joanne Heckman. That's right, Joanne Heckman will be on the KeithAndrewNetWork. Make sure to like and subscribe to the KeithAndrewNetWork. And as I always tell you, I catch you later. So the first thing I want to start off is, what is the KeithAndrewNetWork? The whole point of my talk show is to show people that even if I haven't a word of disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. So prove to them and stem out something. So hashtag break the label. So the first question I want to ask is, you are a professional upcoming actress. Who inspired you to become an actress, and how many years have you been performing?
Well, no one in particular actually inspired me outside of, if you're asking if another actor did, I would say Michael J. Fox when I was probably 8 or 9. I just wanted to be in that world of Back to the Future. So it's always been something that's been in the back of my mind, but I never really brought it to the forefront until 2016 when I really just noticed, because I went to school for TV production, and I was a bit insecure. Actually, I was a lot insecure back then. But I did find a new confidence and security in myself when I was 27. And that's really when I started signing up on Boston Casting, CP Casting, and just doing extra work. And now I'm still in it, and I've actually brought 2 groups together, 2 production companies. One was my own, and then there was a different one called Darkshine. And we've come together, and that we are now officially Benthic Films. So I've got a nice production crew going on.
You know, that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, very interesting. And
Yeah.
so that answers my next question. How did you create your own company, and how did you find this one and merge?
So I took a class that I had already taken, and I did this on purpose because I wanted to find like-minded actors or, directors or whatever they're doing. And I wanted to, when the class was over, I wanted to kind of poach them, if you will. So I got all their phone numbers, and it ended up being about a group of 8 of us. And then it dropped down to 4 of us. And we were very solid, the 4 of us. We made about 4 short films just with us. And then my friend Jury Love, who is just an amazing producer, musician, writer, she does it all. But she invited me to do a film festival with her. And on set, I met the director, and he was impressed with how I was coaching the younger actors. They were like 12 and under. I actually thought that he was going to yell at me when he came up to me, but he said, he was like, "Hey, you got the chops for this. You want to direct this upcoming project that I have?" And I was taken aback, but I was like, absolutely. And it just kind of went from there. And I introduced him and his crew to my crew. We all came together so nicely. And this past year, we've made 6 short films, and we've done 3 film festivals. So I couldn't ask for a better crew. We're just so in sync with each other. It's wonderful.
No, it's all about working with people that you have a common interest and chemistry. It's like with my interviews. If you have, energy, and you're upbeat, and you're funny, and you're energetic, then it's got to be a great interview. If you have personality of a freaking watching paint dry, it's got to suffer. And it's kind of like, I'll give you an example. One of my favorite interviews I did recently was with Chuck, plus I am bad with names, so I do against doesn't talk here. My friend Chuck, he does the voice of Android 17 from Dragon Ball Z. It was one of my favorite interviews. It was fast paced, it's exciting. It was so overall, it has to be exciting. Yet there's some other people who I interviewed, and it's kind of like pulling teeth. Like, okay, yes, you're here, but it kind of feels like you're kind of waiting for something else from it or expecting something. So it's always good not to size people up, but you need good chemistry. You have to feel comfortable with who you're working with.
Absolutely. That's what makes it smooth. That's what makes it, I mean, you can't have negativity on a set. It's just not going to work.
It's funny, you say, what you were saying about your personality is you're more like keep to yourself, and I can relate to that. When I got my first job, I was kind of like, so I had my badge, and I purposely said, "Oh, if you guys need anything, let me know." And I'll hide behind the badge. Now that I have my own talk show, and I have diarrhea of the mouth. So if something pops in my head, I'm like, okay, let's go with it. Let's just do it. So it pretty much helps me open up and express myself and saying, hey, I don't have to hide behind a shield. Now I created something for myself out of thin air. Look at what I'm able to accomplish and be proud of it. Right. For an example, how long have I can't even speak. How long has your company been around?
Well, first, you said that I was sort of what did you say, a shut-in or something like that?
Well, not a shut-in. It's just I can be late because it's kind of like closed off personality.
Oh, so no, that's not me at all. I'm extremely outgoing. I assume you're referring to
Myself.
Oh, you're referring to yourself. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm actually a very outgoing person. But well, now what? So the company has been around. We merged in, I believe it was last September. So it's been what's that, like 9 months?
Give or take. I'm not good with math.
Yeah, neither am I. I see someone else is here. Jean.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
So
I was trying to get your background on. I can't get on. I had to go to my phone because the computer was slow. So
yeah, don't worry about it. So we were just talking about her background, but you're here now. So I'm going to ask you the first question. As a professional actress, who inspired you to become a professional actress, and how many years have you been acting?
Oh gosh, I started pretty young. My first musical, I was 12. Jesus Christ Superstar. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started dancing at age 7. So I just kind of grew up with it. And since my dad was into old movies, from the silent pictures all the way up, it was almost like going to film school. So some of my influences were like Greta Garbo, Rudolph Valentino. So yeah, it was very interesting growing up with that. So like Lon Chaney, the man of 1,000 faces. So I always thought, well, it'd be kind of cool to have 1,001 faces just to beat him by one,
No, it's true. As I was saying, it's always better to be different from your competition. And now here's a question for both of you. I'm going to change the format so both of you can interact with each other. So the first thing I want to ask both of you is, how do you stand out from the competition? Say I'm judging both of you and say, oh, we need this person for this role. How do you guys go about trying to outdo each other?
You want to go first?
I'll go first, sure.
Okay.
So basically what it comes down to is, as soon as you get the sides, you've got to figure out exactly who you are, where you are, and what you need and what's going on. So you break down those sides, you find the moments. There's little nuggets of gold in each. And this is teaching from my coach, James Dumont, who does teachings of Tim Phillips. So what he says is he calls it Sherlock Holmesing the script, Tim Phillips.
I love it. That's good.
Right. And it suits it, you know, because that's really what you have to do is you find that the through line is the first thing that you look at. You see, okay, that's where I'm going. And then you really, what it is you got to outcraft the other actor, but you don't compete with them. Never compete with them, because we are all different in the way that we come at these roles. Like, for example, Jean here could come at a role like, you know, happy and giddy and like that. And I may come at it as a like little bit sarcastic, but both of them work.
Mm.
So it's really a different creative process. It's how you craft the character, really. And then it comes down to the CSAs and the CDs who, you know, they make a choice. It's not, and if you don't get the part, it doesn't mean that you've been rejected. It just means they didn't select you.
No, I agree.
Yep.
How do you? Oh, go ahead.
Well, since I've also like done some of my own projects, done my own casting, the people casting, it really is 95% the way you look. Now, sometimes you can change their minds. For instance, Perry Mason. Originally, you know, the big blonde guy, Paul, he was supposed to be Perry Mason. And he's the one that said, no, let's switch because he's more right for the role. And I've done that myself. I've taken a lesser part because I thought it was more interesting and I would do better at it. So, yeah, so the way to stand out, I mean, you walk in, they kind of sort of made up their mind. So what you have to do is impress them with the reading, and try to go with, you know, the character that you think they're going for, or just basically make it unique to yourself. There's a really interesting story too with Michael Caine, what he did, because he went on, God, I think it was like 300 auditions before he got something. So what he would do, he had this really long scarf and wrap around and around and around. It was like a 20-foot scarf. And the thing is, they remembered him. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to do something that they remember you for. Now, my leopard hat's kind of my signature hat. People remember that. Again, depending on the role, it might not be right for it, because I try to kind of sort of dress for the role too when I go in. So yeah, a long scarf, for instance, something that, because if they see so many people and blah blah blah, so many headshots, it's like, what are you gonna do to say, wait a minute, you know, what's that? You know, the guy with the long scarf, what was his name? You know,
yeah.
So little things like that.
It's funny because, you know, a lot of people, you don't want to be a one-trick pony. You know, yes. For me, a lot of people will be like, oh, you're the kid with a disability in a talk show. Like, that's wonderful. But I don't want to be known just for being, you know, yes, it's nice to break the status quo, or, you know, break the silence or break the stereotypes. But I did other things on my network as well. You know, I actually created, I was talking to Mimi about this, you know, the Human Pyramid Challenge. And I did the Dumbo Challenge, the Jumbo Book Challenge. I have some of my favorite professional wrestlers on my channel, some cartoon characters. And I'm like, okay, if you don't like talking to actors, then I interviewed wrestlers. If you don't like wrestlers, I got, you know, stand-up comedians. If you don't like stand-up, so it's pretty much a little everything of everything. But I do have a couple questions off the air I'd like to talk to you about. But the first thing I want to ask both of you is social media. With everything that you guys accomplished from, you know, your acting careers, obviously, do you benefit from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? Do these platforms give you opportunities, or at the same time, if you sneeze the wrong way, it can easily destroy whatever you're working on?
Oh, that's for sure. Sorry, I had to find a cord here.
No problem. And Mimi, I will start off with you.
Okay. I'm forgetting what was
social media. Social media make you or break you?
Yes. No, I don't think that social media, it can make or break you per se. I mean, if you're going out there and you're really like putting some stuff that is garbage and like you don't realize that it's garbage, yeah, you might break yourself. But typically I wouldn't say that, no, because social media is so important these days, obviously. Especially with the pandemic, it's all about networking, because if you don't have a community of other actors or coaches and or even agents and casting directors that you know around your area, you're not going to get very far. So it is an entrepreneurship, but at the same time, you do have to create your own acting community to really be yourself and be creative. I mean, I could say a lot more, but I'll let you go ahead, Jean.
Oh yeah, social media. I always tell people who are just starting out, go to a workshop, go to an acting class, because I also teach just online acting classes too. Just get to know the people. That's really the first step. Like you said, you'll find that the acting community is kind of a small circle in a way. So just start networking, meeting people. And with social media, that has changed a whole lot the way that works, but it's still the same concept of networking, getting to know the people, and the big thing is building good relationships, because especially in Las Vegas, it's kind of a small town in some ways. Like if you are a flake, and you just don't show up on something, but all of a sudden your name gets known really quick in the acting community. And they'd be like, oh, don't hire this person because they might not show up for the job, blah blah blah. So and vice versa, if you build a good working relationship, that's why I always offer to help people with a project, because I also make costumes. And I don't know if you heard about the 777 challenge in Las Vegas.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah. The Lucky 7 challenge. So they basically picked 7 top directors in Las Vegas. They have 7 days to shoot a film with $7,000. Wow. And on a couple of these, I'm working behind the scenes because I put it out there. I said, look, you guys, costumes, makeup, whatever you need, So Deborah Richards and Mike Conway, I'm going to be working with them. They're 2 wonderful directors and awesome people. And she called, first of all, Deborah said, I need a unicorn, because they can only have 7 crew members. I was like, a unicorn? She's like, I need someone to do hair, makeup, and wardrobe. And I said, I'll be your unicorn. I can do all those things. There's so many years of theater and film and blah, 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 and dance. So I told Mike Conway that, and he said, I could use a unicorn too. So all of a sudden, I'm, the term, it might catch on. So I'm going to be a unicorn. So I'm basically doing the job of 3 people for these films, and they're like one's filming in July, one's filming in August. So, it's not going to be in competition. It's going to work out just fine. So I'm really looking forward to that too. Just behind the scenes also.
Yeah. Hey, maybe I need a unicorn, because I've been doing everything myself.
See, it's going to catch on. But I said a black unicorn for some reason. I don't know, just to be different, right? You want to stand out.
Yeah, I would say black unicorn, because unicorn has a different meaning.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Not gonna say
it. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is, how can your fans and listeners follow you on social media?
Actually on Facebook, Jean Heathen is my stage name. So on Facebook, it's under Joe space Anna space Heckman. So, and Instagram also, and I'm also under Jean Heathen on that too. So yeah, look me up, follow. I'll probably follow you back. Maybe.
Maybe.
How about you? How can your fans follow you?
Pardon?
Mimi Walsh. That's my real name, and they said it looked good as a stage name too. I was actually asked if it was a stage name, but it's not.
Mimi, that's, oh my God. Yeah, that's beautiful. I might be already Facebook friends with. It's funny. A lot of people I turn out to be like, oh, but we've been Facebook friends for like 2 or 3 years, and then I'll meet him, and it's like, oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Dude, that's happening because of the pandemic too. Like I've been working with actors down south in Louisiana, and I've developed such a great relationship with them, and I haven't even met them yet.
Yeah, like, exactly. You feel like you know them, but
yeah.
So the last question I want to ask, the last 5 minutes left, based around my show and everything I do, have you guys worked with people with disabilities besides me? And are you willing to work with people with disabilities? So Mimi, I start with you.
Yes, absolutely. I have worked with an actor that has Down syndrome, and it was one of the best experiences I had, because he just had so much energy and was just ready, and like dove into the scene like I hadn't seen anyone else do. Like no one else had the courage to do that, because this was an a scene study class, and a lot of the actors were very new, and he was new too, and he just impressed me. So I've actually asked him to be in some of the, because I do a lot of 48-hour film festivals.
Oh yes. Oh my God, maybe that's where I saw you.
Yeah, maybe, probably. Well, I'm in Boston, so I don't know, but
oh, okay. I don't know. Never know. I'll have to check you out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check you out too. But I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. Pressure.
Under pressure.
Yeah, under pressure. I'll have to get his name to you, but he's actually getting going. He did a movie in New York City called Clowns in the Woods.
Oh, I'm scared already.
I know, right? I saw the trailer. It's scary. Yeah, but no, I don't. I can't imagine, at least from where I am in Boston, we don't care if you have a disability. It doesn't matter. Like, you show up and act, and you're doing your work. There's no difference.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, what is your disability? Do you mind my asking, Keith?
I'm pretty much like you guys, only I learn at a slower pace. And because of that, I'm on the spectrum. So it takes me longer to do something. But the reason for the show is actually to prove people wrong.
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
He said the purpose of the show is to prove people wrong.
No, I know, but what'd you say? Something about spectrum?
Oh, I'm on the spectrum. But this is not about me. We can always talk about that another time. But, but wrapping up the talk show, was there anything you guys want to quickly promote? Was the last 2 minutes?
Oh, as far as people with disabilities, absolutely, because oh my gosh, everyone has, their unique personality, and it's awesome. So yeah, I welcome every kind of person, every kind of flavor. Absolutely, because it makes it more interesting to watch and to make and be involved with. So
no, I absolutely agree with you. Now, wrapping up our talk show segment, last question I want to ask both of you, wrapping up remaining time, is when I first approached you, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And what do you recommend it to other people? And Joe, I'm going to start off with you.
Well, basically, I know it took a while for us to connect because all of a sudden I just got so freaking busy. But so I apologize for that, but I'm finally glad we connected. Just your statement about overcoming, that just really touched me because, we've all had to overcome certain things. I was in a terrible car accident years ago, and for 15 years of my life, it took me out of the business, and it was just surgery after surgery. I couldn't walk for a couple of years. So overcoming, that's huge to me. And not, people just not giving up, keep going and fighting for your dream because, you can do it. Everyone can, do it if they just don't give up and keep going, keep prevailing.
Absolutely. That's the attitude, is just don't give up. You can't lose if you don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. Now, actually, we're going to go over to women, but Mimi, did you want to give your 2 cents in?
So what, I forgot what the question was.
When I first approached you, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And what do you recommend people being on the show?
So when you first approached me, I was skeptical. I didn't really know what was going on. I had never heard of your show because I'm in Boston. So yeah, I think every actor, especially when you're not as established as other actors, you sort of have this guard up, and you don't want to get like spammers, because I get a lot of spam talk in my inboxes already, and I'm not even
yeah
yeah
you have to filter. Yeah.
But now being on the show, this is great. I mean, like I was saying, the actor's name is Nolan Tears, I remember. So that's a
great name.
Right? It is a
that
great
stands
name.
out,
Yeah. So in terms of promoting, people with disabilities, Nolan Tears, look him up. This kid is, I shouldn't say kid, he's a guy. I'm just older than him, but but he's absolutely wonderful, and he doesn't let anything hold him back.
That's awesome. That's the best attitude.
Right?
Yep. No, absolutely.
Yep.
Now, wrapping up our talk show. It's a real honor and privilege having you guys on the show. I just want to say the following is brought to you by HB Gibson, home of the X Zone. Get into the zone, not like AutoZone, but if you're into entertainment and video game, definitely get into the X Zone. Also, if you're into fitness, eating healthy, drinking healthy, definitely check out Life of a Fighter. And tonight, live on the TNT at 8 o'clock, it is AEW Dynamite. Definitely check it out. More importantly, definitely check out KeithAndrewNetWork. Like and subscribe. And for wrapping up the interview, it was a real honor and privilege having you guys on the show. I just want to say thank you for your time.